The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Makeup's done? Hair's did?
This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
Time for News-ish with Betty Rock on The Wally Show.
Those of us who work in an office, I think we all have those coworkers where we're like, are they really as smart as they let on? And if you're in that boat, or maybe you don't think that, maybe you're the person that lets on that you're smarter than you really are, here are a couple of red flags so you can figure out if this person is actually pretending or if they really are smart. So the first one is if they're constantly talking about themselves. I've been around these kind of people where they always tend to move the conversation to themselves, their experiences, their education, but they always tend to never finish their own tasks.
Yeah, I feel like being somebody who brags is a lot less. It's also less fun to work with someone like that because you feel
That
like
brags?
Brags that they're all about themselves. Well, and also if they don't finish stuff.
That's true. Why is it fun for you?
Oh, no. It's less fun.
Oh,
less fun.
I thought you said it was more fun.
No,
how? Okay, another red flag, scheduling endless meetings. I know that I've had some bosses in the past that it felt like every time they were just looking for an excuse to schedule a meeting. But it turns out that could be a red flag. It typically shows that they don't know the answer to the questions. So if they have a meeting, the people can answer those questions without him having to ask or her having to ask them. And it also hides their confusion.
Well, and this is why I really, really like our current boss, is because he is he takes on the meetings for us.
That's true.
In other ways, he doesn't have us come into quite as many meetings. We still go to them.
Yes,
just so
but
everyone
just
knows.
but just not as many. And then finally, they can't handle their emotions. If you're around someone that when things are going wrong, they blame others and get angry, it pretty much means that they're in over their heads. Now, I know what you're thinking, Gavin. This is Wally to a T. No, he's
emotional.
Oh, he is emotional. And there are times where he will use words where I'm like, I don't think that's a real word, but I just have to smile and nod.
Yeah, tries to be smarter than us, but maybe it's just a fake thing.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show with good news. Giddy up. If you watch the regular news, it can be a little dreary, and we like to be undreary. We like to make things a little brighter in your day. So, Betty, why don't you kick us off here?
So the nation's first dementia village will be opening soon in Wisconsin. So here's what a dementia village is. It's a small village that's expected to house up to 65 full-time residents. And the idea is that the people there with dementia can live freely, safely, and joyfully, and they can get out of the overly scheduled routines of nursing homes. Because if you've been at a nursing home, you know that it can be very limited. So instead of living in a clinical hallway, they can walk to the garden, they can go to the cafe or the theater. And the hope is that this model will inspire Americans to rethink memory care. I love this idea. I love senior citizens. And especially, it's hard for the family already if you have a loved one that's walking through dementia, but to know that they're living in a type of facility like this that puts their care at the top priority can mean so much.
And I just like the idea of there being like some grace at the end too.
Yes.
Instead of what you said, a dreary gray, hallway that they walk through every day. I love that. For me, there was a 14-year-old named Jude who had a rare form of cancer a few years ago. And when Make-A-Wish came to him and he had the opportunity to go anywhere to do anything, he actually wanted to just help other people. His only wish was to give back to his community, to help other kids and other people who were in need. So Make-A-Wish collected and handed out sleeping bags, backpacks full of supplies, hot food for homeless people in the area, all because that was what was Jude's wish, was a very selfless act for him. And then it was kind of interesting to make things better. A local company saw the generosity that Jude had in the situation, and then they started a GoFundMe, raised $40,000 for Jude and his family so that they can go on what they said was a joyful adventure after for a kid who chose selflessness, he still deserves to go and do something really cool. And cherry on the top here is that he is in remission now.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, at 14 years old, like, you thinking of others is a big deal. Also, too, Jude, thanks a lot, because there's other kids out there that are going to get that opportunity, and they're going to feel bad, because then the Make-A-Wish people are going to be like, well, the kid before you just wanted to help others, but you want to go to Disney? Okay.
But this is good news, Giddy, right?
I think to survive, we compartmentalize our lives. Everything has a box and we kind of put things in there. You've got school or you've got work or you've got church. But the reality is our faith colors everything that we do. That's one of the things I really liked when I was teaching at Colorado Christian University. Faith had to be integrated into the business classes or whatever the class was. It was a fundamental part of the education as a whole. And I think that's how we change the world.
When I was going to CCU, as a student, I was thinking, how are they going to incorporate the Bible into math? And somehow they made it happen. All CCU online courses are designed for busy adults, and most courses, they're only 5 weeks long, so you can take one class at a time and still have time to enjoy your life.
I know I wrote papers at a campground one time, so it wasn't crazy once you get the system down. So that's why if you want to continue your education, both Betty and I highly recommend Colorado Christian University.
It's never too late to pursue your passion. Take the first step today and visit online.ccu.edu. CCU is a nonprofit impact partner.
It's News-ish with Gavin.
Hooray!
I think he needs a little more encouragement. Oh, that's better. Here's Gavin.
Having pets can be one of the greatest things in the world. They can be a companion for you. They can keep you active if you walk them. They tend to love you unconditionally. I'm still kind of out on cats when it comes to that. With two, you have two.
Yeah, I have two. I would say one, it's definitely conditional. The other one is unconditional.
I love it. My dog is, I would say it's funny. He's conditional if he's fed. If he's fed, then it's unconditional love.
I feel the same way.
When it's not
about
in
most
front
people.
of him.
Feed me, I'll be fine.
There you go. But I recently found out that having a dog or a pet can be a physically healthy, in essence, like a booster for a kid's immune system. They found that when dogs or cats scratch, roll around, or frolic, and there's a little scientific here, they're releasing something called microbes into the air, and that the sooner that kids are introduced to the environment in which a dog or a cat or any pet lives in, they're getting all of that stuff into their system, which in essence sounds kind of nasty, but they're building up their immune system at a much younger age. So if you were maybe considering getting a pet for your kid at a young age, it is a big thing. And especially if your kid's super young, they're not going to be able to help you do any chores related to that. I cannot wait for my son to be the picker-upper in the family.
Because, once you have kids and you have pets, typically a younger couple will start with a pet. And that welcomes in the germs, okay? But then you get a kid, and that's a walking germ as well if not more.
It's so interesting, too, because, kids also just get you sick all the time.
Exactly. So it's could you say the same for, as dogs or cats do for kids, could you say the same for kids do for their parents?
Oh, it's,
you're introducing them to all of these micro whatever. That's just a fancy word for germs. Yeah. I had a friend of mine that she had a set of twins, and she took them to McDonald's, and she was telling me how it was just tough enough as it is to raise twins. But she said one of them dropped a couple of fries on the floor, and she just let her eat the fries off the floor. And I was like, that didn't bother you? She's like, boost her immune system.
I don't know if that's how I want to do that.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and Wally is currently in Ghana, Africa, and he's with Compassion International. We try and do a trip once a year, and what it is that he's able to go to the Compassion sites, see what Compassion is doing there in these different countries, see these kids that need a sponsor, maybe see where the sponsors kids, how their sponsors are helping them as well, and then come back and tell you all those stories, and hopefully we can get some more kids sponsored with you. You can keep up with all the updates that Wally is posting when you text the word Africa to 91979. That's Africa to 91979. Like recently, we found out that he was given the opportunity to serve lunch at a Compassion site to the kids, and in typical Wally fashion, he made a theme song for the meal.
Chicken gravy, hey, hey, hey. Chicken gravy, hey, hey, hey.
And it just keeps
hey, hey,
going.
Catchy.
It's something, all right. So here's the thing. We all need to start preparing our hearts, because I was texting back and forth with Wally yesterday, and I found out that he was given the opportunity to be an amateur first responder.
Oh, no.
And he loves to he loves to help people, okay, to his own detriment, and to the person that needs help to their own detriment, because he will get in the way and sometimes make the situation worse. But I don't want to tell you any of the details, okay, because I'm sure that he'll want to tell you and brag about it, and also make it seem even bigger than it really was. But all that to say, start preparing your hearts, because he's got a story to tell. This trip has already turned into one to remember. So all that to say, he might be updating you with stories, things like that. But just text the word Africa to 91979 and we will send you that link.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it on The Rock Report.
Gavin, do you own any vinyl records?
Ooh, my wife does. I've never been a big, she owns all the old stuff, VHS tapes, vinyl records, all that stuff. I'm a MP3 guy. I don't really.
She's more of an analog type person. I was doing some research on this. So the first released vinyl record was back in June of 1948.
That early?
Yeah.
Okay.
1948. And the first artist, his name was Nathan Milstein? I don't know. With the New York Philharmonic. I know, right? It was a big deal.
So dramatic.
Well, we've come a long way since 1948, because I was looking to see what is the top selling vinyl record of all time so far. And this one sold 66 million copies, and it was Michael Jackson's Thriller. So good. So, yeah, that one sold 66 million copies.
That's crazy.
I know, and it still holds to this day. And here's what's so crazy, too. There has been a resurgence of vinyl records. Maybe you're the parent of a teenager, and they're like, I got to get that vinyl record. And you're like, what is going on? Because back in my day, I was a kid of the 90s.
Sure.
Okay, so we went through the cassette tapes.
So cool.
And the CDs. Okay.
And it's weird because I guess the vinyl records came first, right? And so
yes.
we're getting back into those.
And then
first.
there were 8 tracks in there somewhere.
I don't even know what that is.
It wasn't good. I know that my dad had to fold up a piece of paper and stick it under an 8-track or something to make it play.
Come on.
I'm not really sure. But anyways, kids are all into vinyl records. No more CDs. And officially, the vinyl records, they've passed the $1 billion mark for the very first time.
Wow.
$1 billion. That's a lot. So you might be wondering, well, if it's such a high dollar item, then what is the biggest selling vinyl record currently? Well, I'll tell you who it is.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
And it won't surprise you at all. It's the one and only Taylor Swift.
It's me. I'm the problem, it's me.
Yeah, she is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, she's huge.
But here's what she did, okay? And I think this is a bit, I don't know. She made 8 versions of her Life of a Showgirl album,
Really?
her most recent one.
That's a lot.
8 versions, okay? And I've started seeing other artists do this too. And to the point where you have to go to certain locations to get that vinyl record. So you can't just go to one location and get 8 versions of the same album. No, you have to
She made it hard for everybody.
Yeah. And
She made people go spend all of their money.
And you don't need that. You don't need that money. It's just 8 versions. Come on.
I'm still looking for the 8th one myself. So if you know where it is, please email me because I need it.
Okay, I don't know.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Uplifting Way FM, it's the Wally Show. And typically when it comes to me and Wally, we don't care to talk about sports at all, unless it's the Puppy Bowl. I love the Puppy Bowl.
It is a good bowl.
So it's Gavin's opportunity to shine and tell us a little bit about sports. So Gavin, what do you have?
Okay, so right now the World Baseball Classic is going on. It's an event similar to the World Cup or like for soccer, the Olympics, where countries build these teams. They gather in a location, battle out, see who's the world championship or who's the world champion. And in a recent game between the Czech Republic and Japan, one man named, and I'm just patience with me on this because he's from the Czech Republic. So I think it's Andrej Satoria received a standing ovation when his coach subbed him out in what he has claimed is his last kind of baseball classic of his life.
Build the statue in Ostrava for Andrej Satoria, a Czech baseball legend.
Okay, so obviously, like, there are a million athletes out there that have had like great careers. They get standing ovations. They're super special. But Andre is a very unique story when it comes to those other stories because, you know, all these other guys, they're professional athletes. They're making millions and millions and way too many millions.
Oh, yeah.
Of dollars.
Don't even get me started. It's ridiculous.
And so a lot of those countries like America, Japan, like they build out these expensive teams. The Czech Republic is not made up of professional athletes. Andre, he's a fantastic pitcher. He recently he struck out the best player in the world.
Wow.
But when the Czech Republic gets knocked out of the World Baseball Classic, this guy is going home to work a 9-to-5 electrician job. So for him,
awesome.
He had a great moment, struck out the best player, standing ovation for these people who are like, this is not a guy who's out here like the rest of them, set up for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He's an electrician who's going to go back home, who's going to be seen at the office. I was reading into it, his office workers, they like plaster the wall with posters of him. And
that's so sweet.
And they poke fun of him too.
Oh, of course they would. Yeah, because you're working with a bunch of guys. I think that's awesome, and I think it's a good lesson for all of those other baseball, basketball, whoever, ball, I don't know, athletes that are like, oh, he punched me and now I have a foul. Ow. It's overrated and it's so done. And I know I'm speaking probably only for women, but it's just they make way too much money and they still find a way to complain.
They do. And what I like about this, though, is like it's an underdog story.
Yes.
And it's something that tells you that you can work the job that you work and you can still have something that you're passionate about and be good at it and still go enjoy.
This guy I could get behind. I would wear his jersey for sure.
I'll get it for you.
Okay.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Uplifting Way FM, it's the Wally Show. And typically when it comes to me and Wally, we don't care to talk about sports at all, unless it's the Puppy Bowl. I love the Puppy Bowl.
It is a good bowl.
So it's Gavin's opportunity to shine and tell us a little bit about sports. So Gavin, what do you have?
Okay, so right now the World Baseball Classic is going on. It's an event similar to like the World Cup or like for soccer, the Olympics, where countries build these teams. They gather in a location, battle out, see who's the world championship or who's the world champion. And in a recent game between the Czech Republic and Japan, one man named, and I'm just patience with me on this because he's from the Czech Republic. So I think it's Andrej Satoria received a standing ovation when his coach subbed him out in what he has claimed is his last kind of baseball classic of his life.
Build the statue in Ostrava for Andrej Satoria, a Czech baseball legend.
Okay, so obviously, like there are a million athletes out there that have had like great careers. They get standing ovations. They're super special. But Andre is a very unique story when it comes to those other stories because, you know, all these other guys, they're professional athletes. They're making millions and millions and way too many millions.
Oh, yeah.
Of dollars.
Don't even get me started. It's ridiculous.
And so a lot of those countries like America, Japan, like they build out these expensive teams. The Czech Republic is not made up of professional athletes. Andre, he's a fantastic pitcher. He recently he struck out the best player in the world.
Wow.
But when the Czech Republic gets knocked out of the World Baseball Classic, this guy is going home to work a 9-to-5 electrician job. So for him,
awesome.
He had a great moment, struck out the best player, standing ovation for these people who are like, this is not a guy who's out here like the rest of them, set up for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He's an electrician who's going to go back home, who's going to be seen at the office. I was reading into it, his office workers, they like plaster the wall with posters of him. And
that's so sweet.
And they poke fun of him too.
Oh, of course they would. Yeah, because you're working with a bunch of guys. I think that's awesome, and I think it's a good lesson for all of those other baseball, basketball, whoever, ball, I don't know, athletes that are like, oh, he punched me and now I have a foul. Ow. It's overrated and it's so done. And I know I'm speaking probably only for women, but it's just they make way too much money and they still find a way to complain.
They do. And what I like about this, though, is like it's an underdog story.
Yes.
And it's something that tells you that you can work the job that you work and you can still have something that you're passionate about and be good at it and still go enjoy.
This guy I could get behind. I would wear his jersey for sure.
I'll get it for you.
Okay.